You're listening to Confidence with Katie, a podcast created for ambitious, savvy women who are ready to embrace their inner badass. If you're ready to figure out exactly what you want and how to get there, I want you to jump on in and join me, public speaker, executive coach, fire starter, and your podcast host, Katie Langford. Hello, fabulous. I'm Katie, and I just want you to know how happy I and my team are that you are here for Confidence with Katie, episode number 16, 4 Traits of a Successful Job Searcher. If you've listened to this podcast before, you've probably heard me talk about how to look for a job, how not to look for a job, and even how to show up for an interview once you've found a job that you're interested in. The job search process and career transition, it is my wheelhouse when I am coaching my clients. But one angle I haven't focused on yet isn't about the job search process itself. It's about the job searcher. I have seen people totally thrive in the job search process. And I've seen people hit wall after wall after wall. And I started to wonder, what are the differences between the people who are really successful in seeking a job and the ones who aren't? So in this episode, I'm revealing the 4 traits I've identified that successful job searchers have in common. But as always, before I jump in, I want to introduce you to the badass of the week. My badass of the week this week is Christina Carlson, author of Your Dream Life Starts Here. A few weeks before Christmas, I was out and about at one of my favorite stores, Paper Source, and from across the shop, I saw this big yellow book, and it just called my name. So I went over and I took a peek at it. That's the book, Your Dream Life Starts Here. I loved what it appeared to have inside. You know, there were stories and there were exercises, really thought-provoking questions. So of course, I bought it. And y'all, I am loving it so far. I'm on chapter 10, and it has helped me dig into what my dream life really looks like. You know, Christina is big on creating a dream practice. Think of it the same way that you would create a gratitude or a yoga practice. And it really hit me last week when I was faced with the following question. If I only had 3 years to live, what would the theme of those 3 years be? I gave it some good thought and I did the exercise and then I turned the page. And y'all, what came next hit me like a ton of bricks. The next page asked me, what would I do and what would the theme be if I only had 12 months? 12 months ago, my life and my business looked completely different. In fact, I spent much of 2018 learning and pivoting. I know everybody loves that word, pivot. And of course, I always think of friends. I started doing things that were new, like this podcast. And I stopped doing things that weren't serving me and weren't serving my clients. One example of that is in 2018, I made the decision, I only coach women. So when I thought about if I only had 12 months left, what would that look like? Where would I pour my energy? Y'all, I highly recommend this book. I think Christina does a great job sharing her story, incorporating exercises, and sharing other people's stories to inspire you, which are all the things I aim to do on this podcast. And today, I want to inspire you in your job search. So let's get back to the question I asked. What are the differences between successful job searchers and the ones who call me saying, Katie, I have tried everything. I have looked everywhere and I still cannot find a job? Let's think about that statistic that I shared with you back in episode 14. If 51% of U.S. folks are searching or open to other job opportunities, thanks to our friends at Gallup for finding that information out, then what is it that makes some people more successful than others? Or maybe first, we should answer another question. Why is finding a job so damn hard anyway? Let's start by talking about what the U.S. job market looks like. I read an article the other day that job creation is up, unemployment is down. There's so much out there in terms of jobs that are going unfilled because people and companies can't find the right fit. And not only that, finding a new job has become big business in the US. Did a little research I want to circle you in on. In 2017, the market size of the U.S. staffing and recruiting industry was $142.8 billion with the B billion US dollars, and it was expected to grow to $148.3 billion in 2018. Indeed.com was sold for $1 billion in 2012. I looked to find out more information about LinkedIn, but I couldn't find it. And I also wanted to see, what is the industry of coaches like me, right? Because we know that coaching is exploding. But unfortunately, the way that we categorize coaching, we're not able to target it down just to those folks who help people get a job. But again, growing industry, so much money being made. So even with all the money being thrown in and around this idea of getting a new job, there are still people who struggle every single day to find what they want. And I get it. I see this in my practice all the time. And here's what we currently see someone do when they want to get a new job. First thing you see is folks start paying attention to their LinkedIn. All of a sudden, they're sending out connections to the 197 people that they've met over the past few years, but didn't bother to connect with when they met them. And they start updating their LinkedIn profile. Sister, if this is you, if you all of a sudden are trying to create connections and updating your profile, every single person that knows you and is on LinkedIn will know that you are job searching. So if you're trying to keep it confidential, you're not doing a very good job at it. What else do I see? Well, I see people update their resume, the one that's been collecting dust since their last job change. But rarely do I see anyone who really takes time to think through what they have actually been doing over the past few years. Now this one is my favorite. I see people and hear about people spending hours upon hours upon hours searching Indeed.com and LinkedIn and Glassdoor and Monster and every other job search site that's out there. And they're applying for more jobs than they can count. And most of the time, they're not even tracking what they're applying for. So here's what happened. They apply, it goes into the black hole of job searching, and crickets. No one hears anything. Now, a few people do tell other people what they're looking for. Maybe they go and get advice. Maybe they say that they want to pick their brain. But a lot of times those meetings, when the job searcher is not set up in the right way in the beginning, those meetings are futile. And what's the number one thing that kills those meetings and kills a job search? Most people have no clue what they are actually looking for. And here's the thing. You can absolutely get a job like this. People do it every single day, all the time. But time after time, it's not the right job. It simply is the next job. When people call me to tell me, Katie, I got a new job 6 months ago and now I hate this one too, I know it's because they were not a successful job searcher. I told you today that I want to identify the traits of successful job searchers. And success to me means the people who are identifying and finding jobs that fulfill them, that help them grow and excel. Not people who are spending months and hours and years applying for things online, then accepting the first position that finally shows up as a result. For the truly successful job searchers, the process still isn't easy. But these 4 traits make their efforts more efficient, less painful, and lead to far better results. So are you ready? Let's dig in. Number 1, successful job searchers are clear. They are super clear on what they want, and they can articulate that clearly, concisely, and confidently to anyone that they talk to. Number 2, successful job searchers are great networkers. Now, I already hear people going, I don't want to network. Networking is hard. I don't want to go to a networking meeting. That's not what I'm talking about. What I should say is not only are they great networkers, they understand, know the value, and learn how to leverage their network. They know that the biggest bang for their buck and time is not going to be spent sending hundreds of hours searching online and sending in job resumes, but rather getting out and talking to people. They talk to people who are in the industry they want to be in. They talk to people who are natural decision makers. They talk to people who have been through a similar journey. And they talk to people who are natural connectors. Number 3, successful job searchers are optimistic. They believe that what they want actually exists. And even when people tell them that it can't happen, they know it can and will. Number 4, successful job searchers are patient. I know, some of you are cringing. I get it. Patience is not always my strength. In fact, for years now, my mother has told me, don't pray for patience, Katie, because if you do, God will give you opportunities to be patient. And he has. No, but the thing is that successful job searchers are patient. They know that finding the right fit can take a while, but they are firm that they want to be in a job that is the best fit for them. As always, my goal is to add value to you and your very important life. It's to help you get where you want to go. And if where you are and where you want to go is to get a new job, I want you to ask yourself, how would you grade yourself right now on these 4 traits? Ask yourself some questions. Are you actually clear about what you want? Or are you just trying to fit within job descriptions you're reading? Are you investing in building and maintaining a solid network of connections? Or are you spinning your wheels adding old classmates to LinkedIn? Are you optimistic that you will find the right thing? Or are you allowing yourself to settle for something less? And lastly, are you willing to put the time in to find the right thing instead of jumping into something that won't fulfill you? I want to offer you some resources because if you are finding that you are getting stuck in any of these parts of the process, my online course, You Can Love What You Do, is now live for registration. We had an amazing class join us for the course last fall, and now we've decided to open up the content for registration on an open enrollment basis. You know what we realized? You want to find a job, and it's not necessarily on our timetable. My goal for you is to be able to have job search coaching and tips as soon as you need it. So if you're ready now, head over to my site, katielangford.com, and register. The link is in the show notes of this episode number 16. I want you to become one of the successful job searchers. And of course, if you are loving Confidence with Katie, will you do me a favor? Will you please subscribe on iTunes or the listening app that you use? Will you rate us? Will you leave a comment? What about share with a friend? 51% of us are job searching or open to opportunities. Guarantee you have some girlfriends that this might benefit. Doing all of these things, rating and sharing and leaving a comment, this helps us reach more ambitious, savvy women who need to hear this content. And it helps us fulfill our mission to inspire, motivate, and impact the lives of women just like you. Thanks for listening to Confidence with Katie. I hope the episode helped you feel more empowered to take control of your dream life and dream career. Go start igniting those fires and embrace your inner badass. Until next time, badasses.